Welcome to a new IEM review, this time around the KZ ZNA, so let's get started. KZ sent me their newest ZNA IEMs, and these are 25 euro IEMs, roughly 25 euros, above 20 euros, 24 euros maybe, with replaceable cable, one dynamic driver, one BA driver. That sounds really cool, and also all the specs here on the back of the package sound very good. But is it really good? And I think this is something that we have to try out. First, let's check out the packaging. Of course, I already put them out. As you can see here, we have the KZ ZNA thing here. What does it say? Don't forget, the original intention of using earphones is to enjoy music, and so therefore intended for enjoying music. When I take it out, we have a bit of a bunch of paperwork, and we have also ear tips there that allow you to replace the mid-size ear tips with larger ones or with smaller ones. Now to the earphones itself. This is how they look like put on a cable. You can see that we have a nice, it should be metallic, it feels a bit plasticky though, front here, and it has some ventilation holes that look like they might be useful. I'm not sure if they're fake just for a show here, also on the side where you can see it, or if they're really used by the dynamic driver to as a pressure release. But it looks very nice, the presentation. It's not gold as the SAO Pros that I tested before, that extravagant, look very cool. But those are more like hiding how valuable they might be. And they're semi-transparent, so you can also see the dynamic driver, and you can see probably the BA as well there inside of this plastic housing. And you can see also the tips that they come with. These are, how they're called, twister tips, hurricane tips, I don't know. They have like this pattern there, and they fit very nicely, the large ones especially. You can see how big the hole here is, and this is an indicator also for the driver maybe, because we have a relatively large 12 millimeter driver here for the dynamics, and then the BA driver as well. The dynamic driver probably more used for the low ends and the mids, and the BA then more for the higher ends, I would say. And we have the typical KZ cable that we know without a mic. This one here with a termination to 3.5 millimeters, as you can see here. And the quality is okay, I would say. I already tested it with more expensive ones, and for 25 euros I cannot complain, because they're like wonderfully packed in, and the quality is good. We have some ear hook holders here as well, so we have like something that like a rubber around here that can form something so that it will fit nicely into your ears. Now I have to just figure out, because there's no easy way to figure out which is left and right, and the imprint, if there is one on the cables, is a bit hard to figure out. But I think this one is, am I doing it correctly? This one is the right ear. Let's try to put it in, and let's maybe zoom in a bit. So here we can see how I put it in with the larger tips, and this is how they will fit in to your ear. I think they're fitting quite nicely in the ear. I don't have any too much pressure points here that I had with earlier devices from them. But this is something where you can see when I put them in, we have a little bit of bulk going on, definitely on my ears. So left and right, you can see it's a bit bigger. So sleeping on them might be a bit harder. Same as with the BA drivers that we have here, the SAO8 Pros or the AES 16 Pros that are even larger. But they are much smaller than the AS, of course. And I could imagine like this would work for some people with a little bit of bigger ears for sure. Otherwise, the fit and finish is nice. I like the replaceable cable. You are just paying 25 euros and you can just replace the cable. You can see that this cable is like a little bit of a recessed, I don't know, it's not the 3-pin version. they have a special name probably, but you have to check out this here. And yeah, this is something that you can replace easily if you want, for example, a mic. You can just get a mic for this one, especially useful if you want to do some voice or noise calls. I have to close the window here. It's getting a bit too loud. So when it comes to fit and finish, I think they are fitting nicely, and they look nicely in the ear. I can wear them for hours. I don't have any issues on my left ear. On the right ear, sometimes I have a bit of pressure, but this has some. I learned that I don't have to push them too deep in, otherwise it starts to hurt after 3-4 hours of listening. Who is listening 3-4 hours? Yeah, me. German podcasts are like 3-4 hours long sometimes. But if you pull them out a little bit so they still seal and you don't press them too much in the ear, so sleeping on this side probably not, on the other side no issue. I don't have any issues listening to them. Like I said, those 4 hours German long podcasts that I'm listening to, no issues at all when it comes to this. So this is nice and good when it comes to this. We have no slider for the chin, so to make it a bit more to the chin, to make it more stick to the chin. There's nothing like this there. And now we come to the most important thing about IEMs, the sound quality. And this is something there where I think they disappointed me in a bit, because we have like a very bassy kind of sound. I have my cheat sheet here written down for the ZNAs. We have a dynamic and a BA driver for sure, and the dynamic is doing the low end. You can really hear it rumble. We have lots of bass, so there are typical KZ sound with lots of bass. The sound stage is not the widest, but it's decent, I would say. So it's not like, but it's not like this, like some Sony true wireless, but it's like this. And it's working nicely when it comes to this. It is typical V-shaped with lots of bass. For me, sometimes a little bit too much bass, but the bass is good. It's not like it's rumbling and punching in a good way. It is not as good as here with the BAs or this one, the SO8, how they call it, SA08 Pros, true wireless, or the AS16 Pro. Not as good, but it's still good. 25 euros. Keep this in your mind. 25 euros. Sharp bass as well in certain situations, and not too punchy, just like those that that you might know from BA bass that KZ does usually. But we have a little bit of problem with highs, some lag in highs, so it's like falling off on the high department. Of course, there's a big scoop also in the mids, so the mids are not sounding so nice. And what I found a bit disturbing is in certain, like, not manly voices when it comes to singers, but female singers. It's just like if there's a fall off or something like this, they're not so present in the music stage as much as I would like them to be. And then there's some kind of sharpness. It's not sibilant, but it's weird. The highs and the mids just feel wrong when listening to music. And this is one of the major problems I have with them. I like their build quality, 25 euros, nice cable, everything. The bass is good. I like listening to podcasts where people speak, especially men speak, sometimes also female, because of the big, large bass. And in the stage presentation, you get a very warm kind of voice, which is nice sometimes. And also watching some YouTubes, watching some movie trailers and so on. Very nice with this rumbling bass. You feel like and the soundstage being large enough. You feel like you're being in the moment. But sadly, music, the thing that was written here, please don't forget to enjoy the music. This is not for me. This is not for music listening for sure. Because the highs and the mids I could live with, but the highs are so weird, and I don't know why they're sounding like this. So they have definitely lack of details. This is also another issue that I found with them, but it's normal in this price region. If I have to compare them with the Moondrop Chews, for example, the Moondrop Chews have way less bass. So if you like bass, these are way better than this, but they have more details, more clarity. Clarity is not there. It's just simply not there. They have piercing highs sometimes in certain musics that are just, and the mids are sometimes so metallic that it's like, I really wish to tune them. They would have tune them a little bit better, then they would be perfect. Otherwise, with this detachable cable, 25 euros. Otherwise, sadly, that's not for me. Otherwise, if you're interested, you like bass, check down the link below. That's everything for this short little review of the KZ ZNA.